James Montreal beer review. This is episode 7 of season 4. We've got another English beer with us today, and we're going to look at not brown ales, so brown ales, English brown ales as a style. As you saw, if you saw my unpacking video for the Samuel Smith selection box, I got hold of 3 beers, and this is going to be the first one of that box. So this is Samuel Smith's Not Brown Ale. So it's a brown ale from Tadcaster, Yorkshire in England, and it's 5% ABV, and it comes in these nice big brown glass bottles, 550 ml, so it's above the average big European sized bottle, almost full pint actually, and it's also been called a Victorian bottle. What can I say about this beer? I've heard about it for about a year or so. So the name certainly, brought up some associations in my head. So it wasn't a new beer to me, but I've never actually tried it. And it's not sold in Quebec, so I was lucky to buy this in Ontario. We're going to talk about the style in just a moment, but before that, I want to say that I'm going to be using my newly acquired Samuel Smith tulip shaped pint glass, and I'll put it on a little beer mat that came with a pack as well. So talking about the styles now. Right, so brown ales, English brown ales, the actual term came about in the 19th century when a London brewer Milan introduced a beer by the name brown ale. But there were cases of, similar beers brewed back in the 16th century, so these were different beers, probably stronger with different gravity. But as we know today, brown ales are mild kind of ales, usually caramel to brown in colour, not very carbonated, nice. Usually get a nice sweetness, not very well hopped. It's mostly malty beers. Sometimes they tend to go towards the fruity side. Sometimes they're more nutty and brown, drier kind of beers. Easy drinking, not too much complexity, but they're not watery either. The ABV usually ranges from 4 to 7%, and very popular kind of style actually. And Newcastle Brown is probably the world's most known brown ale to date. And it was actually used to be brewed in the actual Newcastle upon Tyne city, but now it got acquired by a Scottish company and is brewed elsewhere. As for this example of Samuel Smith's Not Brown Ale, there goes a very interesting story about the brewery. It used to be a very old kind of bankrupt brewery, and the owners, I guess, wanted to get rid of it. So a man called Samuel Smith made his sons buy the brewery, and then one of the sons was John Smith, who with time opened his own brewery next door, and to this day it stands there in Tadcaster. John Smith is a very popular, very easy, watery kind of nitrogen widget bitter, and that probably makes some other beers as well, but I've tried it. It's something special, and it's considered very mainstream in the UK. And it's now actually got acquired by Heineken, so it's not an independent brewery. But Samuel Smith's, I think the guys, John Smith's brother's son, actually brought this, to feet, and they've been brewing great beers and ales ever since, and they remain the Tadcaster's independent brewery. So that's everything about the history now. Let's enjoy the beer. Right, let's crack it open. Not going to remove the foil because there's no need. Nice smell already. I'm not a big fan of these narrow, thin bottlenecks, but should be alright, I guess. Very nice smell to it. Alright, let's see what we've got. Nice clear brown body to it. Some very, very light bubbles rising. And light brown head to it. It's kind of creamy, very small, gentle bubbles. A few large ones as well. Looks good in this glass. Yeah, if I hold it to the light, get a nice ruby red glow to it. Definitely nice hazelnut background to it. loads of caramel, still just a tad of floral hoppiness in it as well. Smells like a brown ale, and that's what it's actually supposed to be, I guess. Cheers, let's give it a try. Awesome. 2 thumbs up actually, can't do it, but you get everything you need in a brown ale. It's definitely like light to medium body, closer to medium body. Feel light, subtle carbonation to it. A very strong, nutty, chocolatey even taste to it. Bit of roastiness. Not very fruity. I guess this one's more dry and nutty. I think this certainly beats Newcastle. This one is more full-bodied, and the maltiness is more complex. It's not just caramel and sweetness. It's also nice bitter chocolate taste to it. Lovely lacing, nice head all along. This is probably the pinnacle of this style. Tend to think so, and I'm enjoying this to the fullest. So I'll get back to you in a few moments. Great beer, great beer. You know what? I think this is the pinnacle of the style, pretty much. I couldn't find anything wrong with this beer. It's just so good. I've certainly never had a better nut brown ale, or better brown ale for that matter. It's been very pleasant to drink, very velvety, smooth mouthfeel to it. Nice carbonation, very, very, very light. Complexity kind of grows when you get more bitter chocolate, starts giving you a bit of that dark fruit, maybe plum notes on the palate. Very balanced maltiness. The sweetness is not very pronounced. I mean, it's a tad sweet, but I wouldn't say this is a sweet beer at all. A bit of that dry bitterness. Fantastic beer. Good head. It's been like 15 minutes now and it's still sticking around. I was able to get some very impressive lacing as well. Even now, look. Well, Samuel Smith really impressed me this time. I mean, it's not the best beer, but it's certainly probably the best nut brown ale, or one of the finest in the world. So I'm going to give this a 10. I can't help it, guys. Even the beer bros from Beer Advocate gave us like an A+. So I feel, I'm not far off from them. I was thinking of giving this a 9, but I just couldn't find anything wrong with this beer. And I certainly have a few beers to compare it with, and this beats everything I've tried to date. So 10 out of 10 for Samuel Smith and brown ale. Very, very highly recommended. Try it if you haven't. And yeah, please comment if you have any comments on this beer, if you like it, if you don't. Just tell me. Let's share the opinion about this beer. But that's it for this episode. Stick to good beer, and see you guys later. Cheers.